Network. True-false questions. Mid-2021, Dr. Tamer. 1. In circuit switching, there is a dedicated copper path between source and destination T2. The bandwidth available in circuit switching is dynamic, F, fixed 3. In packet switching, call setup is not required T4. Security in wireless transmission is less likely to be achieved than wired transmission T5. Transport layer selects the best path for data to be transmitted, F, network layer 6. Worm is a self-replicating infection by receiving or executing object. F, virus 7. In pure FDMA, only one node can use the shared medium at a time. F, 8. In slotted Aloha, overlaps between different transmissions occur only at the beginning of the slots. F, not only 9. MAC address is assigned once the device is connected to the network. F, IP address 10. Ad hoc networks are infrastructure-based networks, F, 11. Wi-Fi is an example of a wireless wide area network, F, 3G12. Cellular networks are infrastructure-based networks, T. 13. Radio signal attenuates as it propagates through matter, T. 14. BER is directly proportional to SNR, F, 15. The larger the SNR, the easier to extract signal from noise, T, 16. In packet switching, there is a dedicated copper path between source and destination, F, circuit 17. The bandwidth available in packet switching is dynamic, T, 18. In circuit switching, call setup is not required, F, required 19. Security in wireless transmission is more likely to be achieved than wired transmission, F, 20. Link layer selects the best path for data to be transmitted, F, 21. Link layer selects the best path for data to be transmitted, F, 22. Virus is a self-replicating infection by receiving or executing object. T, 23. In pure TDMA, only one node can use the shared medium at a time. T, 24. In pure Aloha, overlaps between different transmissions occur only at the beginning of the slots. F, 25. IP address is assigned once the device is connected to the network. T, 26. Ad hoc networks are infrastructure-less based networks, T. 27. Wi-Fi is an example of a wireless local area network, T. 28. Cellular networks are infrastructure-based networks, T, 29. BER is inversely proportional to SNR, T. Mid-2017, 2016, 2013, 2011, 2010, 2009, final 2016. 1. A television broadcast is an example of full duplex transmission. F. Simplex mode 2. The data link layer is the layer closest to the transmission medium, F, physical 3. The physical layer is concerned with the transmission of protocols over the physical medium. F, stream of bits 4. A periodic signal completes one cycle in 0.001 seconds, its frequency is I MHz, F, 1 kHz 5. If the bandwidth of a signal is 5 kHz, and the lowest frequency is 52 kHz, then the highest frequency is 47 kHz, F, 57.6. As frequency of the signal increase, the period of the signal increase. F, 7. Given two sine waves A and B. If the frequency of A is twice that of B, then the period of B is 1/2 that of A, F, 8. Propagation time is directly proportional to distance and propagation speed. F, 9. Wavelength is inversely proportional to propagation speed, and directly proportional to period, F, D-S and P. 10. Pulse rate is always less than or equal to the bit rate, T. Bit rate is greater than or equal to pulse rate. 11. Manchester encoding technique does not provide synchronization, while D. Manchester does. F. Provide 12. In TDM, the transmission rate of the multiplexed link is usually less than the sum of transmission rates of the signal sources. F greater than 13. Twisted pair cable consists of an inner copper and a second conducting outer sheath. F. Coaxial 14. In an optical fiber cable, the inner core is the same density as the cladding. F. Denser than 15. Single-mode propagation is the mode subject to the greatest distortion. F. Multimode graded index 16. In analog transmission, repeaters are used to increase the transmission distance T. 17. ARQ stands for Automatic Retransmit Request. T. 18. In stop and wait, for N data packets sent, 2N acknowledgement is needed. F. N119. Go back and ARQ uses a small error detection and correction bandwidth, while selective repeat ARQ uses larger one. T. 20. In sliding window protocol, the receiver side uses a number of timers equal to the window size. F greater than 21. To have continuous transmission in stop and wait protocol, we must receive the acknowledgement before the end of window transmission. T. By Mohammed Khaled Bio. Mid-2016. 1. Frequency describes the position of the waveform relative to time 0, F, phase 2. Digital signals can have an infinite number of values in a range, F, analog 3. Period and frequency are proportional to each other, F, inversely 4. If a signal does not change instantaneously, its frequency is infinite, F, change 5. A single frequency sine wave is more useful in data communication than composite signal, F, not useful 6. Bandwidth of a composite signal is the highest frequency contained in the signal, T, 7. The bit rate and the bandwidth are inverse of each other, F, proportional 8. Analog bandwidth of medium is expressed in bits per second, F, Hertz 9. A digital signal is a composite analog signal with finite bandwidth, T, 10. Nyquist formula gives an upper limit on the channel data rates 04:23 am, F, number of levels. Final 2021, SW, Bio. 1. The Internet is a private network that is contained within an enterprise using TCP/IP, F, Internet 2. Network architecture concerned only with the implementation of the system elements, F, not only 3. Routing is process of determining route taken by packet from source to destination, T, 4. Data plane is concerned with per router function, control plan with network-wide logic, T, 5. IP provides a flow-controlled way to transport datagrams from source to destination, F, 6. One device on the Internet can have more than one IP address at the same time, T, 7. For subnetting, we do not touch host number, because it is assigned globally, F, 8. Classful addressing can be seen as special case of addressing classless, T, 9. ICMP was designed to compensate for that IP is reliable protocol, F, unreliable 10. IPv6 source and routers can fragment packets and destination reassembly it, F, 11. Autonomous system is Internet region administered by a single entity and unified policy, T. 12. Transit traffic is the traffic with source and destination in autonomous system, F, local traffic. 13. For CSMA/CD to work, frame transmission time must be 2 * propagation time, F, 14. Transport layer protocol that provides connectionless service is TCP, F, UDP 15. Port number distinguishes among multiple hosts connected to the Internet, F, processes 16. Exposed terminal is in sensing range of receiver, but not of sensing range of transmitter, F, sense transmitter, but not the receiver 17. Distributed coordination function is IEEE 802.11 contention-free access method, T, 18. Coaxial cable has superior frequency characteristic than fiber optical cables, F, than TP19. Authoritative name server gives an authoritative answer for one or more zone, T, 20. Top-level domains all nodes in the name tree directly over the root, F, under. Final 2021, Gen. 1. In layered architecture there is physical communication between entities at the same level, F2. Connectionless service means that each packet is handled independently, T3. Encryption and authentication of data are supported in IPv6, T4. Source, routers, and destination can fragment packets, but destination reassembly them. T5. IP provides flow and error control, but does not provide congestion control. F6. One of subnetting advantage is that subnet structure is visible outside organization. F, not visible. 7. ICMP error message include complete IP and the first 8 bytes of the payload. T8. Hello packets are used to establish and maintain adjacency with other OSPF routers. T9. Notification message advertises new BGP path or withdraw old. F, update MSG10. Not all autonomous systems need to run BGP, such as stub networks. 11. Socket addresses AE not unique throughout the Internet. F, unique. 12. TCP checksum is optional and is used to detect error over the entire TCP packet. F, UDP. 13. Sequence number is 32 bits. Field represent bit stream number first byte in TCP segment. T14. ASYN segment cannot carry data, so it has not any sequence number. T15. TCP uses 2 sending and 2 receiving buffers in each direction. F16. Congestion control is receiver side problem. F17. Coaxial cables have superior frequency characteristics than single-mode fiber optics cable. F than TP18. The STIONs in Basic Service Set, BSS, can communicate directly with each other. F, can't. 19. Peers provide transit between their customers, but do not provide transit between peers. T20. DNS Resolver is a process/program that performs name lockup on behalf of application. T. By Mohammed Khaled Bio. Final 2020, SW, Bio. 1. The application layer is concerned with the data transmission over physical medium. F2. Routing, move packets from router's input to appropriate router output. F3. IP provides an unreliable connectionless best effort service. T4. IP header is 20 to 60 bytes in length, contains information essential to routing and delivery. T5. IP checksum must be recomputed and stored again in the packet at each router. T6. The total length field is the only field that affected in the process of fragmentation. F7. Network mask is the network address nettled. F8. Subnetting is a mechanism for overcoming the limitations of classful addressing. T9. CIDR removes class privileges to compensate for address depletion. T10. Host can get IP address through manual configuration or through DHCP automatically. T11. Header translation is one of the transition strategies from IPv4 to IPv6. T12. In distance vector algorithm, each node for one time sends its distance vector to neighbors. F periodically. 13. Link state routing apply Bellman-Ford algorithm, but distance vector uses Dijkstra. F14. In transit traffic source and destination in AS, but local traffic that passes through the AS. F15. OSPF is an example of interdomain routing, but BGP is an example of intradomain routing. F. OSPF Inter 16. Exterior Gateway Protocol is based on policies. Interior Gateway Protocol is based on metrics. T17. Peers provide transit between their customers, but do not provide transit between peer. T18. Server program uses well-known port numbers, while client program uses a port number chosen randomly. T19. Pseudo header contains several fields from IP header, source and destination IP addresses, protocol and segment length field. T20. TCP sender and receiver must establish connection before sending any data. T